Hi, this is Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and we're going to talk about a path to victory for the 2024 U.S. presidential election, and specifically what would do it, what would allow Vivek Ramaswamy to be specifically to win, right? And one of the things is we have to realize this. So the entire model for politics has been determined by President Trump. And the reason why is he did something lots of candidates had won elections before. What candidates did not do is kill the party that they represent, the Republicans, and then shove themselves into that. And then wear the old party's skin. Wear the old party's skin. No, nobody killed the party, skinned it, and then wore the skin, right? Like, that's what we're seeing. There really is no Republican Party today. There's just the Donald Trump Party. And as long as he does not suffer a Dianne Feinstein event, that's going to remain. That's just the reality of it. It's frightening, but it's the reality of it. Vivek Ramaswamy has to, and so how did Trump do this? Well, he turned politics around. Before politicians were people you didn't have to listen to anything they said because you knew what they were going to say, right? And Donald Trump completely reversed that. He made it so that you had to listen to every word he said because you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. It completely changed forever the shape of American politics, right? And also, he promised the world that it would change the moment he was president. And he kept that promise. He said, you will win so much, you'll be sick of winning. And that happened. Flawless economy. It was smooth as glass. Wonderful safety. America's in 2 wars right now, right? Like, 2 huge wars. Hundreds of billions of dollars being either already delivered or being asked to flow into these incredible wars that we are directly involving ourselves in, right? Very, it's alarming, right? And the reality is, So, incredible economy, incredible safety under Donald Trump. But here's the problem, right? Like, he was like, you're like, wait, what was the cost of this? And he's like, oh, all leadership going forward is immoral, and all Americans are completely permission to be completely immoral, like their leader, right? And that's what, that's the cost of a flawless, smooth as glass economy and national and international safety. Like, be not living on the edge of World War III for half of a president's election. The cost is Donald Trump is a monstrous, immoral he is immoral to the point where it makes him monstrous. He's just an immoral monster. And he was like, hey, all Americans could be immoral monsters too. The president is now, right? And the cost of that, you could see it everywhere. You could see it everywhere, right? Like, just immoral monsters winning, right? Because the president did it and permissioned it, right? So Vivek Ramaswamy has to shock the world. He has to do what President Donald Trump did, but without the horrendous cost, without the horror movie cost, right? He needs to be human and benefit everybody, but he needs to shock everybody. And how does he do that? Well, I'll tell you right now. So, one, what is the second most powerful thing in America? First most powerful thing in America is Hollywood. The second most powerful things are professional sports leagues. We have a number one, sports league for gridiron football. We have a number one sports league for baseball. We have a number one professional sports league for basketball. And you know what? Hockey and soccer, take them off the list. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Americans don't care about hockey, and they don't care about soccer. They used to care about hockey. They don't anymore. And yes, I know more and more people are watching the World Cup, like the soccer thing, but trust and believe. Like, I got a soccer stadium near me. Nobody cares about soccer, right? So what should Vivek Ramaswamy do? He should say, listen, day one, when I become the president of America, every single one, the football professional league, the baseball professional league, and the basketball professional league will be required by law on day one within 12 months to establish a professional team in every single state, in every single American state. And by the way, the entire reason you're listening to this video right now is because I had to watch the Phillies lose to the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? And I learned that the Texas Rangers and the Texas Astros, one state has 2 professional teams, while many states have 0. That is horrendous, right? Now, I've already had this conversation with with many sports fans, right? And they're like, that's a terrible idea. Here's why that can't work, Scott. One, nobody's gonna build a professional sports team in Minnesota, or in Alabama, right? I know so little about sports that I'm not sure where the teams are, but I do know there are many, many states who do not have a single professional team, while these professional leagues continue to allow 2-3 professional teams in a single state. That is horrendous, and should not be allowed by law, in my humble opinion, right? There's no reason in the world that there should be, like, Rhode Island, right, has not a single professional team, right? But then, in the sports that matter. And then Texas has 2 baseball teams, right? That professional baseball team. That is horrendous, right? And it should not be allowed by law, right? And so here's what people say. They're like, one, these wouldn't be profitable, right? Because people wouldn't show up in the stadium, right? And I'm like, please, come on. Like, that's ridiculous. First of all, there's not a single team in any of those sports, right? And I invite correction. Correct me in the comments below if you think I'm wrong, or if you have any evidence I'm wrong. There's not a single sports team that is not profitable in America. Because in the sports I just named, it's not an American product. It's a global product. A global product. Our basketball, our baseball, our football are watched on every country in the world, right? And it's not the flip, right? Like, I don't know a single American who watches any sport that matters from Italy. Like, I don't even know the name of a professional Italian team, right? Like, come on, right? And so it is a global product, so it will be profitable, okay? They're like, well, people wouldn't be able to go, there wouldn't be enough population to fill the stadiums. There wouldn't after about 2 years. That's the entire point, right? This is so powerful, and this needs to be done because it's so important, all right? So let me tell you why it's incredibly important, right? Why is it incredibly important? This would literally even out the population of America. If you did this, it would take people off the East and West Coast and allow them to distribute evenly across America, right? And that would fix tax problems. That would fix intellectual density, like intellectual power density problems. Huge issues would be fixed overnight, right? Like, actually not overnight. It would take about a year, right? The other thing is, this would bring billions and billions and billions to every state in America that right now is suffering, watching completely unfairly preferred and privileged states, right? And it would allow the power of American professional sports to go all over. You're like, well, Scott, wait a second. What are you talking about here, man? Like, this is a private industry, right? And, government shouldn't be getting involved in that, especially Republicans. Nope. Nice try. Okay? Tell me if I'm wrong. I invite correction below, but you ain't going to be able to correct me. I'm betting, right? Like, here's why, right? Every single one of these professional leagues rely on laws that have been established in America to that have allowed them to use taxpayer dollars to build stadiums for them. There you go. Political speech, political action, baby. Right? If they were on their own, if they were building their own stuff, right? That ain't the case. They're building buildings with taxpayer money. That means we, the taxpayer, get up all in it. And that's why Vivek Ramaswamy immediately should declare that he is going to create what we need, which would be every single one of baseball, basketball, and football, every single number one pro league in America would be required to put a team in every single state within 12 months, right? And it would pour billions into America. The rate of flow of money would be absolutely, it would be incredible. It would change the world. And that's what Vivek needs to do. He needs to explain to people, you elect me, nothing stays the same. The world changes for the better, right? And you get an actual moral human rather than an immoral monster for leadership. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.